Welcome to another live edition of your favorite show of your Tennessee Titans, man. Halftime adjustments. What's up, fellas? G Witt, Mr. J. Lou in the building, man. What's going on, man? Tighten up, fellas. Tighten up, man. Let me just ask y'all this before we get started on the notes here.
Really? You want to ask us that?
I do. I mean, is everybody okay? I mean, y'all don't have blood pressure issues or heart palpitations or anything? Because once again,
cardiac Titans, baby. Cardiac Titans.
Man, you cannot watch this football team.
I needed oxygen after that game, man. Needed oxygen.
Right. You could not watch this football team, man, without being on some kind of medication. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It's whew.
Well, so let's get going.
I'm too young for this, man.
Yeah, I know it, man. It's just crazy. But come on in, everybody. Join us tonight. Get your questions, your comments in. Here we go. The third week of a 5-game stretch that featured games against playoff teams from last season, all which are going to be tough games. We talked about this stretch during the offseason. We talked about it coming to the second quarter of the schedule, and we were hoping to at least be 2-2 out of the stretch. I'm sorry, 3-2 out of those 5 games. And so, it was a stretch that was coupled with injuries to key players. Julio Jones again is out. Pop-Tart, my man Jay Lou's
Pop-Tart.
My man Jay Lou's name for him was out. Christian Fulton, his last of a 3-game span, which he should be out, and hopefully he'll be able to come back next week if he's able. So it's going to be a very tough game, especially going against the Colts in a rivalry. The Colts coming in kind of hot. They started off 0-3, but had won the last 3 or 4. Which included a tough loss to the Ravens. That was just a crazy football game right down to the end. And when I saw that game right there, I knew the Colts were playing better, and it was going to be a tough game for us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And then plus they were getting a lot of people back. They were a little bit healthier than they were the first time we played, especially Carson Wentz. He was very mobile in this game. He was going to make plays, and we had to contain him in the pocket. Long, deep breath because the Titans escaped. That's right. They escaped. Indianapolis. 34-31 over the Colts in overtime. And G Witt, I'm gonna go with you this week first, man. Your first reactions after this hard-fought game in Indianapolis for the Tennessee Titans.
Okay. I'm just gonna say this right off the bat. I was really concerned, especially after I heard Rashaan Evans was not gonna be playing, and I'm like, okay, because I didn't think Monty Rice was actually really ready to play myself, but. He played pretty well, but overall, I'm going to say this, man. And, we can say what we want to, man, but you got to give the defenses credit. The PI penalties, you get mad at the corners for that. Kevin Byard, even Vrabel said Kevin Byard was trying to prevent a touchdown on that play as opposed to, just take the PI and just be done with it. Because he did just run into him. Like, you just play the ball, you might have a chance at an INT. And he made up for that. But overall, I thought defensively they played pretty well, considering. I mean, and the fact that the Colts jumped out to a 14-0 lead. Yeah. And they kept getting stops. And then the offense got rolling. It's just a grind for the Titans. I mean, you have to appreciate the ability of this team to grind out a game. I mean, should have been over with after that pick 6, but penalties kept them in the game. But overall, man, inopportune penalties. Whatever, man. But overall, I like the way the defense is playing. I have to say, we believe it or not, we got a pass rush.
Right. We do. And, excuse my doorbell, trick-or-treaters are coming back. I got the show going. And that ain't knocking on the door. So if y'all hear that, I'm sorry. I apologize. But so, Jay Lou, before I come to you for your first reactions, you got to really think about something, guys, and we'll get into the defense after a while. But if Monty Rice is playing and Avery Williamson's not, what is going on? Right. What is going on? So anyway, Jay Lou, your first reactions after this victory for the two-tone blue.
I think I just got to continue to give a little bit of credit to Vrabel. We've talked about, I think Vrabel, this is his 4th year with the team, 4th year here, 3rd or 4th year. And, we talked about, you hear that word thrown around, culture, a lot. And I think this is a game that I think defines him changing the Titans culture. We're good for getting up for the big games, Monday Night Football, the Bills, Kansas City Chiefs, and the big games. Colts, we all can agree was probably more important than the other two, just because of division alone. And, Titans of the past probably would have had a chance to, we've always been a team that, when we got a chance to put our foot on somebody's throat, for lack of a better term, we always come up short. And I think this was a game where you really saw him changing that culture and these players buying in, because this was a hard-fought game. I mean, the Colts, as you said, this is the healthiest they've been all year.
Right.
We still going in. We are not clicking on all cylinders when it comes to a health, which I think if you're a Titan fan, that's the sneaky, scary thing about this team. If we can, you want to be playing your best football. Last time I checked, tomorrow's November 1st. So you want to be playing your best football around this time. And if we can get these guys back and get healthy, this is a game we weren't supposed to win. We stole this one. I mean, G, when you talk about penalties, I think officiating was bad on both sides. It was terrible on both sides. So, I mean, you got that going out there. You got Tannehill again, just looking confused in the pocket with some of these turnovers. I don't know, still can't figure out who was going to on that first one, on the first turnover. But, I think that the thing that changed the game, and it just goes to show how momentum swings can be different in games. The thing that changed the game for the Titans, I think, is the interception fumble. Kudos to Fursker for that.
Yeah, right.
For getting that one. And then I think if you go back and look, and this is just a big veteran play by Kevin Byard, taking ownership. He blew the coverage we all blew coverages on those ducks that Carson Winston was throwing for pass interferences. Right. But he blew the coverage. And if you go back and look at the interception he made in overtime, he really wasn't in the right coverage then, because he broke off the route. He should have had deep coverage, and he knew that they had been feeding the ball to Michael Pittman, and he's like, "You're not going to burn me again." Right. It made just an excellent football play, because that's not the scheme that it was, but he just broke off in typical Byard that we're seeing. So kudos to that. Again, special teams, man. That's the unit that is holding this team strong. You can't say enough about Randy. He's solidified the kicking game. Again, like to see him when he needed to. He was putting the ball in the end zone on some of these kickoffs. And then Brett Kern, man. Again, this is back-to-back weeks. We see Kern,
all-pro, man,
all-pro, drop a punt at the most unique time that puts the defense in a situation to do something. So overall, like I said, you got some things to clean up, and I'm sure Vrabel will say that. But the biggest thing I say coming out of this game is we've got to see this team. You're running through the gauntlet. You got about 3-4 more games before your bye. We've got to figure out a way to just get healthy and continue to push along. But overall, good win for the Titans.
4 games.
Right.
4 games.
And so here's my first reaction. This is the first thing I listened. You said it first, G, with penalties, man. 11 for 161. That is just crazy. Now look, of course, that was high school, but I know if I got some defensive back fans out there on the show, why is it so hard for the Titans to turn their head around when they're in coverage? Chris Jackson had an interception. Chris Jackson had an interception in the end zone. Byard, if he looks around, G, to your point, he has an interception, right? Hooker has an interception if he just turns around. And so, Jay Lou, I agree, man. Those ducks that he was throwing, they were bailing them out of those bad passes. Because truth be known, Carson Wentz played bad today. I mean, really
terrible. He played terrible.
Right, he was forcing the ball. He was confusing coverage,
missing receivers.
Missing receivers. And here's, I want to get some comments in, and I'm gonna come back to my reaction. So Will says, is it the workload that we're seeing Henry? Is it slowing him down some? I think, and here's one of my points. My reactions. Todd Downing went back to those tight formations.
Oh, yes.
He went back to those tight formations to run out of. And guess what? There's no running lanes. Yeah, he got a little nicked up today. The King got nicked up today. But I don't think, because you go back to the last couple of games, he hadn't had those 30 carry games like he's been having. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't say the workload is really getting on him. I say when the running game is not working, the formations are wrong. He's running those tight formations again.
Yeah.
I don't know why he decided to do it. The last 2 weeks, you saw that against the last 2 teams, especially against Kansas City, when we know their defense wasn't that good. And so, here was my other thing. Wentz, again, too much time in the pocket for Carson Wentz. Bowen, I think he got a little happy with that 4-man rush, which is good. Don't get me wrong. But if it's not working at first,
blitz,
you got to bring some more heat. He was already throwing ducks.
I think you saw that a little bit in the second half. He mixed a few more in.
Yep.
You gotta bring some pressure on Wentz.
Right. Talked about the turn of the head. I'm gonna give somebody some credit, because we've been dogging him on here for the last few weeks. This is probably the best game Janoris Jenkins has played all year.
Yes.
Probably
hands
the best
down
game he's played all year long.
Hands down.
He was breaking on the ball. He was in the right position. He didn't get beat deep. He had pretty good coverage. He might have got away with a DPI.
He did.
Right. And then to my most frustrating point, and Jay Lou, this has really got you fired up. That soft coverage. Somebody said it was a question. I think it was Eddie Gray, a comment on. He did. He said, we're talking about Wentz on 3rd 16 making that completion, but Denier got tackled. That's fine. But don't drop your best pass rush in coverage. Don't drop back and play soft 3-man coverage, 3-man rush coverage.
Rush.
3rd and 16.
What is the old saying? Prevent defense does nothing but prevent you from winning.
Why do you drop your best pass rusher in coverage when you need to get the pressure on the quarterback? He got all day to throw that ball. There's no way he should have completed that pass. But anyway, so let's look at the offense, guys. We got a lot of comments I want to get in. So offense, Jay Lou, give me your assessment of the offense today. What you thought, what you saw, and I mean, just give me the bottom line.
So the one thing I saw is, this is probably one of the few games in my illustrious fandom of being a Titans fan that I've seen the Titans actually use a number 1 wide receiver like a number 1. Man. AJ had 11 targets and caught 10 of them. And the one that he didn't catch was just a terrible throw.
Right.
And I mean, they kept feeding him the ball over and over and over again. And I mean, this goes back to everybody again. Yeah, Tannehill had a couple bad throws, but I think Tannehill is starting to prove to you, if you're going to stop the run, because I mean, I think we had less than 3 yards per carry, he can beat you with the weapons. I will tell you this. I think that Westbrook-Ikhine is making a strong push to be the number 3. Man. That man, the touchdown catch, he caught that with his hands. Yeah, it was a perfect place. Ball and a nice catch. So again, the play calling, I don't know if it's the scheme you want to run because this team's familiar with it and you're familiar with them and didn't want to change it up. But we went back to, we were running the ball too much on 1st and 2nd down, putting us in some long 3rd down situations. The play action was working. I don't think we were feeding that enough. And then I think the bootlegs, Tannehill, when they played down here in September, he had over 50-something yards rushing because they're selling out. I mean, they're selling out for Derrick Henry. That was a case in point on that 4th down play. And again, I'm heading over to the sports park tomorrow, and I'm burning the playbook. Anything that I see with the word pitch in it, I'm burning that playbook.
Take it out.
I mean, the toe sweep, just take it out. Did you see we tried to get cute with it and run an option on 4th down, and Lord, that was almost terrible.
And if we didn't have a stiff arm and a broken tackle,
it would have been stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
And a running back who's smart enough to know where the first down
mark is. Man, but I think overall you're seeing that AJ Brown is truly an alpha wide receiver. And, kudos. I don't understand I talked about it last week, and I'll talk about the Colts here in a second, but the defense of the Colts, they were being stubborn. They never once tried to even double anything or roll coverage towards AJ Brown. And I don't get, he was the only thing killing you. So I mean, you scratch your head on that. And then again, I think, the offensive line, it reared its ugly head again today. Now I didn't hear when they said Nate Davis went down, but I noticed the rookie in there playing near the end of the game in guard. Getting toasted is an understatement. Tannehill took some shots. That one right before going into overtime was one that was like, oh, this might be ugly. But I think they held together when they needed to, but they got to shore up. That protection again. But overall, if I'm giving out grades, I probably give a C+ to the offense today. They made some plays when they needed to. We got to stop starting off so slow. They did get in a rhythm, and you like to see them using some hurry up, but overall, some things to go clean up on.
Before you go, I want to get this in and I agree with you, Boogeyman Gaming. He said we need Julio back. I mean, I agree. We need Julio back. He needs to be healthy. 7 different receivers caught a pass today to Tannehill's credit. He did look confused at times, but give me your assessment of this offense today.
Well, I'll be the first one to tell you I was concerned at the beginning because, I mean, Tannehill threw that interception. I'm like, dude, what are you looking at? Especially when you see the replay and you see the tight end is wide open.
You're wide open.
They could have had the first down easy. Yeah. So he was throwing it to Johnson, and I think the corner just broke off. He broke off his coverage of A.J. Brown. They were trying to sneak it in behind him. I did think once Tannehill got into a rhythm, he got into a pretty good rhythm. He still forced a couple of throws, but I think he got into a fairly decent rhythm. He was using I like the fact that he settled down and started using his tight ends
right
a little bit more.
Yes.
But then he got on the road with A.J. Brown, and A.J. Brown was just killing them. I thought, they ran Derrick Henry a lot, and the yards per carry is going to be small. But the bottom line is they kept him honest.
Mm-hmm.
They kept him honest. But I will say I think when they got the ball back, and I don't know if it was when they first got in overtime, they didn't have Derrick Henry in the game. And I was like, what the heck are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
How you not going to have the beast in there? Right. So, but overall, the offensive line, we got problems. We got
interior.
And Landis came in and he got eaten alive.
Yeah.
And I thought Taylor Lewan played okay.
He did.
But that center, the middle of the line, Ben Jones, I thought, and Runders, I think they just struggled with him being in there, and Quisenberry had a hard time too. So they got to get this offensive line together. Hopefully Brewer can be back. Hopefully, but I hadn't heard anything about Nate Davis, what his injury is, so I don't know. But other than that, man, kudos to the fact that you're exactly right. Kenny Hill playing and winning, using his weapons to win when they were stopping the run, because they loaded up to stop the run, and they did a great job. But I thought Tannehill did a great job of, throwing different targets. And I will say this about our receiving corps. This is the biggest problem right now that I see. And it just goes to show you how much you miss Corey Davis. They don't block.
Mm-hmm.
They
outside
don't.
Outside of Westbrook or Keeney.
Yeah. But Chester Rogers and Johnson, they don't block well at all. And that's going to be a problem. I mean, and A.J. Brown has never been a great blocker. Let's just be honest about it. But he does do a pretty good job. That block in the back penalty, I'm just like, oh, man, really? Finally got a good run, and you get a block in the back. But overall, that's the biggest problem with part of the run game, in all honesty. We just got receivers, and you got offensive linemen that are not making their blocks.
Yeah, and I agree with Boogeyman again. He says, you can see the blitz coming, the recognition of the blitz, and changing the coverage. I mean, the protection was bad. I don't know, what the coach is telling Tannehill if he has the liberty, which he should be able to change the blocking up front. Ben Jones should be able to help with that. But that same blitz where they were bringing that safety up on the line of scrimmage or even the slot corner, they ran it several times and they were causing issues for this offense. And so 2 turnovers, 3 sacks. Talked about the interior of the line. Again, Westbrook or Keeney, I agree with you, J. Lou, man. He is the number 3 receiver in my opinion. Yeah. Did you even see Josh Reynolds on the field today? He was on the field.
Yes,
he's on the field.
Now, was he on the field? But was he on the field?
Yeah, exactly. He was just out there.
Right. And so, like we said, 2 straight weeks where the Kings been kind of bottled up. And again, I think that's just formation things that's going on. People is loading up in the box, especially when you don't have Julio on the game. You only got to worry about A.J. Brown. But I agree with you, Jay Lou. They were stubborn. I guess they thought that, they could get to Tannehill before he would get open. But, I mean, A.J. Brown is a great route runner. That's one thing we noticed about him early in his career, that he is a great route runner. And, and again, another good point, Boogeyman. He said there's no route against the blitz.
At all. Receivers are not reading the blitz at all.
No. And so, again, you got to look at the coaching like, what are you doing? What's going on? And so I gave down in a D, J. Lou. I could go with a C+, but a D, just because, like I said, he reverted back to what he did before, we played against Buffalo in Kansas City. Well, he did it in Kansas City too. But, he went back to those tight formations, ran out, and still running that dumb toss sweep as we talked about.
Yeah, man. He got saved. Bayard saved him, because that first drive when we got the 3 and out in overtime was probably the worst drive of the game. Right. That was the worst offensive play. You're right, G. But I think the King was off on first down. Second down, I don't know. I don't even know if the play was a run play. I don't know what they were doing in the backfield. And you look at third and long. I mean, it was terrible play calling to start that overtime.
Right, exactly. And so, as we look at the defense, G. Witt, tell me about this defense. Again, if you look at the stats of this game, they wasn't that bad.
No.
And the Titans are number 7 in the league in red zone defense. So, G. Witt, just tell us what the defense did, because their defense really ended up winning this game for us.
Well, when you go back and look at the game, you'll see, despite all the PI penalties that they had, what you really saw were the defense actually, if you want to say anything bad about them, they beat themselves. I mean, you think about on that last drive when we could have ended the game in regulation, 3rd and long, we're stopping the play and getting the penalty. You know what I mean? And it's just driving you nuts. and then you let Carson Wentz get loose and he throws the ball downfield and David Long Jr. to his credit jumped up, but he just couldn't get high enough to get it.
Right.
But
a little bit too short.
Overall, I'm going to say this, man, and as far as the defense is concerned, you gotta like what's going on with Bud Dupree being back in the lineup.
Yes, sir.
Because Danico Autry and Harold Landry and Jeffrey Simmons in that lineup, that front four, they are pushing. There were a couple of times Carson Wentz had to run out of the pocket because they got such a push up the middle. You know, that's why he was throwing some ducks out there because he couldn't get the ball out because they were pushing him up the middle and everything. So
Big Jeff.
Big Jeff was doing a good job. Even I give Vrabel his credit when somebody tried to call him out on that penalty he had on that third down play. He said the referees held the whistle too long.
Yeah, they did. That was a terrible call.
I thought that was a bad call.
And he said Jeff Simmons been, we talk about it. You played through the whistle, and that's what he did. So but overall, I thought the linebacker play was actually better than I thought it was going to be. I thought for sure with Rashawn Evans being out and Monty Rice being in there, we were going to really struggle running the ball. And they had a couple of good runs, but they were called back because of holding. But
which they were.
But overall, I thought we did a good job. But both defenses did a good job of stopping the run. It was a knockout, drag out. I mean, defenses had to win the game, and we just happened to make one more play than their defense.
Right, and Jay Lee, to that point of the front four, only had one sack today, but again, like G. Witt was saying, Jeffrey was pushing the pocket. Sometimes he had to guard right in Carson Wentz's face. The Colts only had 307 yards of total offense at Jay Lou, but tell me what you liked about the defense today.
I think the sacks can be a misleading number sometime. I think the Titans in the top 5, if I'm not mistaken, in the league in quarterback pressures. And you saw that again today. Harold Landry, another sack, just balling out. Again, we continue to see that wide 9 formation. It was one time that Harold Landry was lined up, looked like he was on the wide receiver line down to rush. He was out so far wide. But I agree with you, G. Witt. When you got Bud Dupree, Landry, Danico, and Big Jeff, that front four, when they know that they in pass rush mode, hence near the end of the game when they got the turnover, I mean, it's phenomenal. Bud Dupree got off before the ball was snapped.
Man,
and we talked about it last week. He's continuing to get healthy. I think you saw it this week. He only practiced maybe one day if that. So I mean, they're treating him right during the week. I said this last week on the show. I said it back in September when they played the Colts. Frank Wright outcoached himself because Jonathan Taylor was killing the Titans once again.
Yes.
And I don't even know if he was on the field the second half of the game.
It didn't look like it.
It didn't look like it at all.
I think Carson Wentz had 52 pass attempts, something like that.
52.
That's entirely too many. Kudos for us as a Titan fan. I'm glad that they, got out. They outcoached themselves like that. But that's twice that we played them this year, where I think they stopped the run game when they were still in the game. So overall, again, like you said, the DBs, I think. And then Maben was getting exposed in the beginning. Guy, he was getting exposed. And
picked on.
I don't know how you could. I mean, you heard Vrabel talk about after the game that they teach the DBs to turn around. I don't know what's going on in their mind in the split seconds when them plays, but we're not turning around plus the ball. Because I mean, it was the one that Chris Jackson was. I mean, it hit him dead in the head. He's paying attention. But overall, like I said, I think that the DBs, this might have been the best game that we've seen the secondary play. And I know we got injuries. The secondary. The one thing you like to see is Molden is continuing to get better. Yeah, he's got to continue, and he said it himself after the game. He's got to stop starting so slow, and waiting for plays to come. But I mean, we saw that. Ed, you talked about doing the draft. That you liked him coming out. We had a ball hawk. He solidified that nickel spot. They brought him on some blitzes a little bit today. And again, I agree with you, G. Witt. Monty Rice looked good as a rookie. I was curious about the linebacking play. With Evans being out, but I think they held strong. So again, I would give the defense a C+ as well, just because I think we've all asked for them to just be average and keep us in the game.
That's it.
And a lot of the plays they made were beating ourselves, but I think they put us in a position. The 14-0, that's not on them. I mean, you turn it over and get the ball right back on the 10. They down 14-0, but they held strong and made plays when they had to make them.
Yeah, and I can't even fault Molden. Was it Molden on the touchdown catch after the
he got turned around on the other side of the field.
Yeah, and I didn't understand the coverage because Maben was playing outside coverage. what they used to call that when I played was called tango coverage. And so the inside guy would take the inside route, and the outside guy would take the outside route.
Right.
And I don't know if he, and Byard was way over to, I don't know if Byard was supposed to be in the middle giving some help. But anyway, Molden, like you said, Jay Lou, he's got to start fast. He says it himself. 224 yards passing for Wentz, 83 yards rushing, 3 turnovers.
Whoa. He threw the ball 51 times and only got 224 yards passing.
That's what I'm saying. You take away he was thinking and dunking the pass interference is they don't move down the field.
No, that's what I'm saying. Right. That's what I'm saying. That game right there is one that, for the likelihood, it was just crazy because the DBs couldn't turn their head to make a play. You know what I mean? To make a play. And maybe Will says maybe needs to go back to Subway. Well, hopefully Christian Fulton will be back coming up this week. This is his third game out, his third week out, and hopefully he's healthy and ready to go. But yeah, I like the defense today too. They were put in some bad positions at times. They held up pretty good, but then when it came down to it, they're the number 7 ranked defense in the red zone for a reason. Even though the Colts were 4 for 5 in the red zone today, they made big plays when they had to, getting some of those 3 and outs and some of those stops. After we had to punt the ball and those couple of turnovers and just the boneheaded play calling by Downing again. You got to give the defense credit. They played some pretty good football today. And yeah, Monty Rice played well. Again, I bring up the question, what's wrong with Avery Williamson? They signed him. Yeah. He hadn't settled the field yet. So But thank y'all for joining us for another episode of Halftime Adjustments. Get your questions, your comments in. We're getting them, and they're coming in fast. And like I said, if we don't answer them, we will definitely respond to you after the show is over on the page. And so I want to go back because somebody said, T.L. Tart. That was Boogeyman. He said T.L. Tart he thinks is horrible. I disagree with him wholeheartedly. T.L. Tart, he's actually been balling this year. If you really think about it, when him and Jeffrey and Autry is in there together,
who
you gonna double team?
He's stopping the run. Like he's been plugging up and playing some good run defense. Now, I will say that today you're starting to see the undrafted rookie. I thought Naquan Jones really stepped up today.
Right.
Yeah. I thought he played pretty well, but yeah, Pop-Tart's been playing some ball.
Right. Yeah. Right. And that was another question. Fulton, again, we talked about him. Jayon Brown practiced last week. And so we'll see what happens. But somebody's gonna lose some reps at linebacker. I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
David Long Jr. is LB1. He gets the green dot. Bottom line. Yeah. Bottom line. And so between Rashad Evans and Jayon Brown, they got to flip a coin or something.
It's gonna be interesting to see how that all plans out, because right now, like you said, David Long Jr., he's basically just taking over as far as the middle linebacker is concerned, inside linebacker, and he's making too many plays. Right. So it's going to be hard to sit him down. So it's either going to be Rashad Evans or it's going to be Jayon Brown that's going to be coming off the bench. One of the two.
Right. Again, it's Dion. It's Derrick Henry. Okay. Yeah, he got a little banged up today. He was limping. He didn't have that burst to me either. I agree with you.
He did.
And he could be dealing with something we just don't know about because they won't ever say. But I think he is a little banged up on his ankle, his knee, or something to that effect, because you could tell he didn't have a burst. A couple of times that he ran about today, I know for sure one time he missed a cutback on the right. The hole was wide open.
Yes.
Ran straight to the guard on the left side. And a healthy Derrick Henry burst that he might be gone to the house.
Yeah, no, he ran, and again, they'll never say. I know they showed the sideline play with his shoe off, but to me, after they showed that, I think that was about the second or third drive, he started running more timid.
Yeah,
he wasn't the Derrick Henry that we used to. But to G Witt's point, having him on the field, they got to respect him. And I think you saw that in overtime after they realized they didn't put him on the first drive. Right. When you put him out there on the field, they've got to sell out and respect what he does, and that's just a weapon for itself. Yeah, exactly.
Bottom line is, defenses are going to. I mean, we've seen it over the past 3 weeks. Defenses are selling out to stop him because he's been playing so well. So, everybody's deal now. I give the Colts credit because they were smart with their defense. In fact, they told everybody, when you come up, go straight for his ankles. Don't try to hit him in the thigh or anything like that. Go straight for his ankle. And they were flipping him quite a bit. So Derrick Henry is going to have to. I think he's got to get healthy. He's obviously got an ankle issue, a foot issue, or something's going on. But I'm just speculating. But there's something going on to where he's got to get healthy. But more importantly, the run blocking has got to get better. Guys are missing blocks, man.
Yeah,
big time.
This just goes to show why it was so important. And you feel bad for the guy, but this is one of them games where you wish you had a Darrington Evans somebody that could spell
Right.
Henry. I mean, this is one of them games where we need him, just need him to come out and have a break. So, but I agree with you, G. There was a few times that the center and the guards were in the backfield on the ground as he got the handoff. So we've got to strip that run blocking.
Right. Yeah, we've got to get some better blocking. Yeah, they were, Ben Jones was getting whooped today. I'm sorry.
Whooped.
He was getting whooped. DeForest Buckner was whooping him live. I was like, good. I mean, like he wouldn't even, he has an advantage over the defensive line because he knows when the ball is going to be snapped, right?
Yes.
But he was so slow off the ball.
Yeah. Well, and to his credit, he's hurting too.
Yeah.
So,
So, the NFL didn't do us no favors with the schedule. And with all these nagging injuries that we got, man, it's gonna be a gauntlet to get there. It's gonna be tough. It's a marathon. We got to get to week 13 to get a bye week.
Yes.
But man, so let's talk about special teams because I can't say enough about your boy Fat Randy.
Fat Randy
with the field goal, man. Hey, Randy has been a consistent kicker for us since he's been here, man. Really has turned his career around. And then you can't say enough about Brett Kern. We mentioned earlier, man. Pro Bowl. He's Pro Bowl for a reason. That's why you pay the guy dropping punts inside the 10. So the comment. Here's another thing that got on my nerves today is the commentators. Did y'all hear the commentators? The commentators are just terrible today.
They were horrible.
Why
Jay Feely was horrible, man.
Right. Why did you challenge the catch by AJ Brown? Because you flipped the field when you punt.
That's out in the end zone.
Yards,
yeah, exactly.
Another 10 yards. And guess what? He kicks it inside the 15. Come on,
man. That was common knowledge. When he's talking about it, I said, that's a catch. I don't know if I would have challenged it. Yeah, you challenge it because you want to give your punter some room.
That's right.
That's room.
That was like obvious. That was like Captain Obvious.
Come on. I was listening to them. I was like, okay, you guys, you know the game, but you're not watching the game.
No, exactly. Definitely not watching it.
You were a kicker for a reason.
Right. Then, he was like, so then they said the Monty Hooker play on Cox, the tight end, that should have been pass interference. Okay, because the referee was like, all right, he didn't really affect the route. He didn't affect the play.
And he didn't turn him or anything.
So why throw the flag on that? Come on, man. Come on, guy. He's a Jay Feely. He's a kicker. Come on, guys. Come on. So
he was better off doing the sideline reporting.
Right. Yeah, Deon, I agree, man. Ben Jones, Sappho, they're all banged up. Taylor Lewan, everybody's banged up right now. Yeah, and it's like I said, the bye week can't come quick enough. And since we're talking about banged up, G Wit, this is something me and Jay Lou was talking about before we came on the show. Don't be surprised if we don't see Derrick Henry next week.
Oh, no, I already said that.
Don't be surprised out there.
I already said that. I told my wife that when the game was over, I said, we probably won't see Derrick Henry next week. Yeah, right. He's probably going to get a game off. We'll see him probably again. The only reason I can see him playing is I didn't realize it was Sunday Night Football.
Right. Oh yeah, it's prime time, and it's a good matchup. I mean, a 6-2 team versus 7-1, good matchup. But I think Vrabel hits him with the New Orleans Saints from 3 years ago, where we set half the team.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just one of those games that it don't really mean nothing. The Titans got a stranglehold on the division right now, and it's just one of those games, right? It's just one of those. Okay, yeah, we understand, but we're looking at December and January now.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Like I said, like I've been saying all season, he's playing the long game.
Right. Yeah. Playing the long game. So after 8 weeks, the AFC South standings are like this. The Titans, of course, of 6-2, 3-0 in the division. When is the last time that we beat the Colts? Twice in the season. Twice.
It's been
a long time.
Wow. It's been a long time. Colts are 3-5, sitting in second place. And of course, the Jags, they were playing Seattle, getting beat 24-0 last time I saw them. Sure,
they got
beat.
And then the Texans lost to the Rams today, 38-22, and they're sitting at 1-7. So again, the Titans 6-2, 3-0 in the division. To go along with that division lead, they had 2 wins over 2 of the top teams in the AFC. So those victories are going to be critical coming down the stretch as far as playoff seeding. And so next week on the road, it's SoCom Stadium playing the Rams. This is a Rams team that's normally stout on defense. This year they had a little bit of trouble. Of course, you recognize that because they lost the defensive coordinator from last year. He's now the head coach of the Chargers. And so you would expect the defense to fall off some. They're 21st overall in defense. But here's where the change is for the Rams. 7th in offense, 3rd in pass yards per game, because they got a quarterback now that can sling the rock. They can push the ball downfield. Deshaun Jackson is still Deshaun Jackson. He still got speed. Cooper Kupp, of course, he's your possession guy. Robert Woods, even Van Jefferson's making plays down the field. 5th in scoring. So it's going to be a tough challenge for this defense. What is it going to take, G. Witt? Okay, so if Derrick Henry doesn't play, right? If Julio don't play, and if AJ Brown don't play, which I think AJ will, how are they going to match up against this Rams defense and this team?
They don't. To be totally honest with you. But no, it'll be interesting. I mean, if Henry doesn't play, then chances are Jeremy McNichols going to be playing,
right?
And they're probably going to. I don't know if they signed Dante Foreman.
But I think they will. I think they will.
They will,
yeah,
and I think you'll see him play. And I think that's what we'll see happen next week. Julio, he may play, he may not play. I don't know. They're being cautious with him, which I don't blame them. Because again, like we said, you need him in December and January.
Hamstrings are finicky. Watch.
Yeah, they're finicky. Personal experience. But it's going to be interesting to see how defensively we play against the Rams. It'll be a good test because while we do fairly well against the run, our pass defense has been what they consider to be our weakness.
Leaky.
The question is going to be, in all honesty, can we get pressure? Because I will say one thing about Matthew Stafford. If you get pressure on him, he's known for turning the ball over.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's just be real about it.
Yeah.
He's known for it. So you have opportunities. The mayor may have some opportunities come up for him, a couple of INTs and everything. But it's going to be one of those games, man, where, in all honesty, that may be where the streak ends. Because it's just going to be hard to beat the Rams with that defense that they got and with the offense they got. It's just
on the road at that.
And on the road.
West Coast.
Especially after you've been through a brutal game like you went through today.
Right. Mm-hmm. Shoot, just today, the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
But today was the knockout, drag-out fight because the Colts were fighting and we were fighting.
That's
and,
right.
People were getting, let's not forget, Jeffrey Simmons got dinged up.
That's right.
Yes.
Early.
So let's remember that Danico Autry got dinged up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we may see happen this week as far as practice is concerned. You may see they come in Wednesday, they just do a walkthrough.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And you might see that doggone
25-page in report.
Yeah.
Right.
You might see it double in size, man.
Yeah.
It's really we're really the walking wounded right now, man, with all the players we got hurt. It's just amazing to me that we're 6-2 right now.
It is. It just, again, it goes to show you, you got to give credit to Vrabel and his coaching staff. As much as we dog the coordinators, they're 6-2. They're 3-0 in the division. They're sitting in a good spot. It's bad. Go ahead.
One thing. So, and I'm just going to say this because I said it during the off season. I said it at the beginning of the season. All these people who've been dogging out J-Rob, you don't win these games without some talent on that team.
Hey, absolutely right.
It's no doubt. It's no doubt.
You're absolutely right.
Now don't get me wrong. He's made some bad calls.
Yeah. Yeah.
But overall, I agree with you. Got to give him his credit on the team.
You got to give him his credit.
Yeah. Because
the way the team is built, and Vrabel, to his credit, has been coaching them well, and they stay focused and everything. Yeah. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, Josh Reynolds. Yeah. That might be a bad pit, and Darrington Evans might be gone after this year.
Yeah. We all lay eggs sometimes, and he just laid a few eggs.
He's laid a few. But he had some, but he's had some home runs. I mean, big Jeff. I mean, that's
Harold Landry.
Remember
he traded him to get him.
Right. Kevin Byard, Christian Fulton. I mean, last year. So he's had some home runs.
And let's not forget the biggest home run, in all honesty,
Tanny.
Is Tannehill.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we got Tannehill for nothing.
Yeah, he finessed Miami on that one.
And they even paid half his
salary. Yeah, they paid his salary.
That's what I'm saying. So and don't forget he picked up Derrick Henry in the second round. And people have passed over him. So come on now. I mean, I just look at GMs again. I've been watching NFL for a long time. All GMs have bad years.
Oh yeah.
All GMs have bad years. But I think overall, when you look at this team and everything, you recognize the talent. I mean, there's just a lot of talent on this team, and you just don't win these type of games without there being some talent on that field.
Oh, no doubt.
Even though he's let some talent go.
Yeah. So J. Lou, because I know Aaron Donald is licking his chops
Man.
for the interior of this offensive line. So what are they gonna need to do?
So let's
play
let's
Logan Woodside.
Yeah,
right. So somebody said, I think
somebody
it was
said,
Logan Woodside needs to start next week. Tanner need to take a week off too. He's beat up too.
Yeah, we did an extra bye. But let's say we go in and we go to win it with the troops out there. Julio to me would have to play because at this point in time, Jalen Ramsey is lining up on AJ Brown, and I personally look forward to that matchup. Yeah. I look forward to it. Yeah. I think that's going to be phenomenal. I mean, you've seen Jalen's had his way with DK Metcalf, and that's AJ Henry's boy. So interested to see that matchup. The interior of the line, we've got to do something unique. Now, you don't see a lot of blitzing from the Rams when you don't have.
Why would you? You
got the Terminator on the line. So I'm curious if the rookie has to play, then Aaron Donald's going to line up on him the entire game, and Woodside might be in early. But I think on defense, we've got to be prepared for the kill shots. I think you kind of play the bend but don't break, keep it in front of you, similar to what you did at Kansas City. Because which y'all said, if you can get after Matt Stafford, he will give you the ball. The Rams don't really run the ball well. Not a strong run team. So they're coming in at a pass. Again, we've got to get the pass rush. I think our front four on the defensive side of the ball can get to their offensive line. So I think that's a unique matchup, but we just got to play keep the ball away from them, and be ready for the aggressiveness from the Rams. They go for it on fourth down probably more than any other team in the league outside of Green Bay probably. So you just gotta man up when you have those plays, and as always, special teams will come to play because they have a phenomenal punter themselves, so it can come down to who can flip field position. But it'll be it'll be interesting to see how the team prepares this week, just to see who goes out there. Because again, walking wounded, we got some guys coming back off IR. I personally don't think you see anybody really practice until Friday. I'm with you, G. What I think they use Wednesday as you're gonna see the injury report and say Wednesday limited practice, Thursday rest day, and Friday might be full participants. I think the only good thing about the knockout drag out today, even though it wasn't at home, it was a short flight from Indy to Nashville. Yeah, so they probably back in home now. So at least you can rest up. But I think it's going to be an interesting game on Sunday night next week.
Hey, Eddie,
go ahead.
Eddie, I got to respond to Dion on this. He said Ozzie Newsome never had a bad year, in my opinion. Kyle Bowler. That's all I'm going to say.
Woo! Got your name, Dion. Got your name. That was his big egg.
Yeah, that was.
Taylor says, "Come on, guys, let's play the game." Okay, LA ain't won it yet. Yeah, we know that. We're just saying. So.
We just scouting.
We just know how Vrabel is. He's shown in the past that if there's a game that he thinks that's, I'm not going to say that he don't want to win, but if it's not going to really make a difference, in what happens later on in the year, don't be surprised if you see some guys not suiting up. That's all I'm saying. Or there could be a healthy scratch.
I mean, it's an NFC game, and right now as a Titan fan, you love it because right now they're the number one seed in AFC. Cincinnati got beat today. The Raiders were off, so you got that number one seed, and you only have one loss in the conference. So you're stacking these conference wins. The next two games are against NFC opponents before you see another AFC opponent. So again, Vrabel plays chess, not checkers. So you're right. It wouldn't surprise us to see us take a bite.
And can we now just get a bit of a break on the Jets' loss since they beat Cincinnati today?
I mean, really?
So nobody's talking about that right now, G. So we got that on this fly up on the rails, okay? It's all good, baby. It's all good. Yeah, so like I said, Matthew Stafford, he's got some weapons out there. Deshaun Jackson has requested a trade, so we don't know. He was out today. So
is this upcoming Tuesday the deadline? Okay,
it's the deadline. Tuesday at 3 p.m., 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. here.
Gotcha.
So we'll see if any moves are made. That Fletcher Cox guy, that name was flying around here last week as rumors for the Titans, which, I think I'd rather go secondary, though. That's my opinion. I don't know about y'all.
Me too.
But,
me too.
I can understand they want a little bit more depth at defensive line, but, like we said, this was the first game this year that Janoris Jenkins has played anywhere near any decency. And with Christian Fulton still not all the way back yet, we need some more secondary help. And I don't know Xavier Howard, how much they want for him. You know, is it worth getting up a first or a second round pick? Yeah, maybe.
Well, and that's the whole key. We're trying to make a trade right now, man.
Right.
What are you gonna have to give up?
Yeah,
right.
You know, it's just going to be one of them things that's going to be hard to do, especially now with the way the team is set up and with all the injuries we got, man. It's just going to be hard to make a trade right now. It is
because you're going to have to give up some picks, and who says with the offensive line needing to be rebuilt in the next few years. You know, we need as much draft capital as we can get.
Yes,
next few years. How about next year?
Oh yeah, I'm just saying. You know, it's gonna start next year, of course, but you know, it's gonna be a thing that's gonna take a couple years to get it where we needed to get, because we got Taylor Lewan, which, you know, who knows what happened to him in the offseason, if they even keep him or if they restructure his contract, whatever they might do. But anyway, that's way off. The Titans are 6-2, man. It's a lot to be proud of for this football team. 3-0 in the division. Sitting good, got to battle some injuries, got another tough game against the Rams. You know what? Jameis Winston went down today. Got a called tackle, maybe an ACL. Yeah. And but they still won today. Tom Brady gave a pick at the end.
Their defense is legit.
Oh,
it's
always has been.
Always legit.
Always has been.
So Deion says, I bet if they tell Wilside he's got to start against Aaron Donald next week, he'll start limping around, faking an injury. So again, thank y'all for joining us for another episode of Halftime Adjustments, man. G with J. Lou, y'all know who I am.
Tighten up, baby. Tighten up.
Thank y'all, man. Thank you for the comments and questions. Again, if we didn't get to your comment, we will just get it on the page. We'll respond to it. We always do, and we look forward to being here with you guys every Sunday night. So check us again next week. We'll be talking about the game versus the LA Rams. Hey, could we be
a late night, man?
That's right. It's a late night, so we'll be. Hey,
correct me if I'm wrong.
Go ahead.
Wasn't that originally just an afternoon game?
No, it was a night game.
No, it was a night game.
It was a night game.
Yeah, this was Sunday night.
For some reason, I kept thinking it was going to be Sunday afternoon, not Sunday night.
Yeah. So I tell you what we will do.
The Chris Collinsworth now.
Yeah, I tell you what we will do. We'll jump on at halftime next week. And y'all know the rules. Y'all know the rules. J. Lou, you know the rules. Let me out the rules for y'all, just in case you forgot. So the Titans are not playing well at all. I mean, I'm just talking about this stinking up the joint. That little red, well, y'all can't see the red microphone like I can, but the little red microphone for G Witt is gonna be on. He's gonna be muted. He will not be able to talk, okay? Because he will not be able to get all his comments out in the 20-minute halftime.
Right.
But we'll jump on. Man. That's cold.
We'll jump on to a halftime of the Rams game next week. And then we'll have our regular show to follow. Just look out for that information, man. We appreciate y'all again supporting the show. Halftime Adjustments. That's J. Lou. That's G Witt.
Sir.
And we out here, man. Peace.